Yes, my peoples, what's happening? What's going on? Hope everyone's all good and well. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure you all like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, share with an auntie, share with an uncle, share with a partner, share with everybody. Just support the kid. Before I start, let me shout out Rud. I don't know if you lot can see it. I hope you can. Painting and decorating in Edgware, which is around Northwest London. So if you're around Northwest, then give them a shout, Rud. Painting and decorating. I can vouch for them. They do some sick work. And also, thank you for the merch. The funny thing is, they support the other side. I don't want to get into it, but you know what I mean? Love is love. And they done me a custom Arsenal t-shirt. So big up yourselves. Today, we're going to be talking about Arsenal transfers, incomings, outgoings. I think it's weird with Arsenal. Like throughout the years, like our business is always a little bit funny. Like in terms of we either do our business straight away, and there's no movement throughout the whole transfer window. Like you'll hear that throughout the years, Arsenal were getting Higuain, Arsenal were getting Benzema, and these things never ever come to surface. So whoever's doing the PR for the Arsenal transfers, you're sick, because I can't lie, you will me in every single time. So we either do it right in the beginning or we do it right at the end. If you remember, like that deadline day signing with Mesut Ozil, and then, like I said, throughout the window, you don't really get nobody, or you'll get like an unknown guy from the French league or an unknown Brazilian. Most of the time, they don't really work out. But shout out Martinelli, because you know what I'm saying, we got him from, was it the Brazilian Division 2? And he's been a gem. But I want to start, you know what, let's get into the negativity first. Not negativity, but before I get into the incomings, let's get into the outgoings first. And the first one, he's not outgoing yet, but I'm sure he's outbound. I'm sure his suitcases are packed. I'm sure he's already looking at restaurants in that country. Eddie Murphy, aka Eddie Nketiah. 23 million pounds Marseille have offered us. And Arteta, and Edu have said, no. They said, nah. They said, nah, that's not enough. We want 30 M's. Now, I personally, he's not worth 23 mil. He's not even worth 15 mil. He's worth about 10. I get it. Obviously, throughout the years, if you look at the history of Arsenal, we don't make that much profit in selling players. I think that the most we've ever made is from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and we got peanuts for him. So we're not known as a club to buy players and then in years to sell him, or we're not known as a club that will nurture youth in the academy, bring them into the first team and get millions for them. That's not us. And I'm cool with that. I've been cool with that. The reason why I've been cool with that is because that's always been our story. I haven't known any different. Cool. Obviously, it gets to a point where Edu, Arteta are saying, you know what, we can't be this club no more. We need to now make money, get as much as we can. Otherwise, players are not going. Why start with Eddie? Like, come on, man. Like, he's the most useless person that you could have milked the money for. Like, I've seen bad man go from us. Sanchez, Van Persie, Fabregas, Song. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen some real ballers go, and we ain't cared about the profit. We ain't cared about we're getting bumped. We ain't cared about this. We ain't cared about that. But now it comes to Eddie Murphy, them man there want to start acting bougie. Them man there want to start eating lobster. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't make sense, man. From a business point of view, obviously I get it. Enough is enough. We need to start making some money, which he done with another player that we're going to sell, or we've sold, which I'll get into in a second. So I get it. I just personally believe that Eddie Murphy isn't of Arsenal standard. Like, I get it. He works hard. And I think I even spoke about this on the last video, so I don't even want to go too in on Eddie Murphy, because if Eddie Murphy ever checks my Twitter, then I'm definitely in his block list. So, you know what I mean? And he might come back to Arsenal and really be that number 14 in it, but I want to keep in his good books somewhat. But at the same time, and I got to be real, man, like, Arteta's built this mentality into me as an Arsenal fan now, where it's like, I'm not just accepting mediocre. I'm not just accepting average. Like, average isn't good enough. Average is Chelsea and them, man. Do you know what I'm trying to say? If you want to be average, go Chelsea and them, man. Like, my standards are up here now. Do you know what I mean? Like, Arteta's done that for me. So players like Eddie Murphy, personally, I love your passion. I love your story. I think he got kicked out from Chelsea Academy. I was even watching some video the other day. Said he got kicked out at Chelsea Academy think he come to Arsenal at about the age of 15. And he walked into the I don't know if it was the under 16s or the under 17s or whatever it was, the academy, and he walked in with his head down, and the coach said to him, "Are you Eddie?" And he's like, "Yeah." That sad year. The coach said, "No. You need to go back out the doors, come back in, keep your head held high. We're gonna give you a chance here. So do you know what I mean? Fix up. Don't come with this full sorry for me attitude." And respectfully to Eddie, he's done that. He hasn't complained. He don't moan. He works hard. It's just you can't. Obviously, you can buy ability, but I'm saying in his case, you can't buy ability. Like, he's as good as he is, and that's great, but it's not good enough for us. What I would say is, if Eddie is, I think that he's a very likable guy. I think that he works hard. I think that a lot of his colleagues and footballers will turn around and say, like, he's a humble kid. He's a good finisher. He's got some records in the England under 21 youths, for like top goal scorer. So there is a player inside of him, but he's never going to get that run of games and that trust that he needs to become a great player at Arsenal. He's never going to be able to get that. Me personally, if I was Eddie, like, forget Marseille, I'd be saying, yo, Fulham, Crystal Palace, I can still stay in my house here in London and I can come and play for you. Do you know what I mean? I know Eddie loves Knightsbridge and all them type of places, man. He's a flash. He's a I want to say flash in a bad way, but you know what I mean? He's a drippy guy. So yeah, I get that we're holding out for 30 million. And it makes sense on a business point of view. But what I don't want to happen is, because it's come out that Eddie's even agreed terms with Marseille. Obviously, you can agree terms all you want, but if the clubs can't come to a negotiation and an agreement, then it's irrelevant of the contract that you signed or the contract that you're going to sign. So the fact that Eddie has been open to wanting to go, and I don't think he wants to go as in like, I want to leave. I think he wants to play. He wants his opportunity now. He's 25. He's not seen as a kid anymore. He wants to go and, you know what I mean, build his reputation and potentially get back into that England squad. I think that because clubs know that now, what I'm scared of as an Arsenal fan is it going to get to, everyone's going to play stubborn. Everyone's going to say, you know what, this guy wants to leave and Arsenal want him to leave. So let's just wait to the last day. Let's just wait. Let's just push Arsenal to the last minute. Let's push him to the end, push him over the bridge. Boom. 2 hours left of the market. We need a striker. Eddie's still there. Marseille, 10 million. You know what? Panic. Accept. Go. And I don't want that to happen. Like, I don't want to come back to this video and say, I told you so. I don't want to come back to this video and say, I told you so. Like, we should have just taken the 23 million. Even though, like I said, we're getting bumped. I know we're getting bumped. But we've been getting bumped. I'm trying to say, like, this is not nothing new. Like, if we was a club that had never been getting bumped, I'd say, cool. That's not us. But we've been getting bumped. All these teams come to us to bump. Yo, you know what? Arsenal, they got a good player. Let's just offer them 20 million below his valuation. They might accept or they might negotiate. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've been there, innit? So I'm just a bit vexed that out of all the players that Arsenal Football Club have decided to be stubborn on, it's the one player that, as Arsenal fans, respectfully, we know we need gone in order to get better. And that's no disrespect to Eddie. Like I said, it's just we need a badder man striker. We need a bagsman. We got, obviously, have a great season last year, but he's not a bagsman. He's a good footballer. I'll give him that. He's a good footballer, a very intelligent, good IQ, good touch, good intelligence. He's one of them kind of man. But he's not a bagsman. Jesus, Jinky Majinky. He'll skin you here, skin you there, skin you there. You look at the end of the season, the guy scored 3 goals. You're like, huh? I swear, I see my man in the box 100 times. How did he score 3 goals? This is what I'm trying to say. So he's not a batsman. Eddie Nketiah, you know what I mean? Works hard, loves the badge, come from the academy, Haaland story. We love to hear it. He's not a batsman. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, like, we need Eddie to go in order for us to get our bagsman. But I see what Chelsea done to Conor Gallagher. Like I said, I don't really want to talk about the ops too much, but I see what Chelsea done to Conor Gallagher. That's a guy that come from your academy. He's on a holiday. Manager calls him and says, yo, Conor, not training with the first team no more, dog. You're with them, man. You're with them, man. I say, the kids. I said last season I had the armband. You did, but now you're with the kids. And this is what I'm trying to say, like, We, as Arsenal, will never rub a man out like that. Like, we'll never throw a man under the bus like that. I know what people are gonna say. Mesut Ozil. Now that's politics. That's Ozil knew what he done, and I stand with Ozil. Like, Ozil spoke up for something that he knew he was gonna get in trouble for due to his own morals, and I respect that as a man. In it, if as a man you stand on business and say this is what I believe in, and nobody's gonna tell me otherwise, stand on that. You understand? Stand on that, and that's what Ozil done. Which is a bit completely different to something else. But yeah, we're not like Chelsea with this whole Conor Gallagher in ushering man out. So we're never going to do that to Eddie. But at the same time, as Arsenal fans, we know full well we need him gone for us to get a striker. Next, I had to take a sip for this, but this one hurt me still. Emil Smith Rowe. ESR, Saka and Emil Smith Rowe. Oh, man. Like, every single, let me not say every single, I'm going to say 95% of Arsenal fans was hurt by this. This gave me Jack Wilshere vibes. This gave me that, you know, that heartbreak. You can't eat, you can't sleep. This gave me that vibes. On the other side of it, though, I'm mad happy for Emil Smith Rowe. What a player! I've sung him up for time, from the youth days, from when he first broke into the team. I've said it on the previous video that he saved Arteta's job. He's definitely a fan favorite. He's definitely out of all the players that have come through the academy and made it into the first team. He's definitely top 3 favorites. I'm not gonna say top 3 ability wise, because that's a personal subjective opinion. But in terms of like fan favorites, like how the fans feel about a player, I'm telling you now that he's top 3 loved coming out of that hell end team to make it to the first team. And there's something about Smith Rowe, man. And Fulham, what a player you have. What a player you have, man. He's at Arsenal for 14 years. Even in the videos, like you see in the videos, like he looks a bit emotional, looks a bit sad. He still looks a bit shocked. I remember as well, I'll never forget this years ago when he scored against Tottenham. I think it was him and Saka that scored against Tottenham. It could even have been the COVID days, like 2020. Could be wrong. And he scored and he come on the interview and he said, like, this is the best day ever. This is the best day ever. I want to stay at Arsenal for life. And I genuinely believe that he meant that. I think that Arteta respects him too much to just let him rot on the bench. The problem that Smith Rowe has is obviously he wants to be a number 10. He is a number 10. But you've got an elite juggernaut in your position in Odegaard. Not many number 10s in the world are going to take Odegaard out of the team, especially with the form that he's on. With the form that he's on, he could be arguably the best number 10 in the world, if not top 2, top 3. So it's a bittersweet one in terms of, like, I'm sad that he's going. I think he's made 2 starts in the last 2 years for us. So that's not bad business if you look at it like that for a guy. 4 starts in the last 2 years. That's not bad business for somebody who started 4 times in 2 years to get, it was 27 million plus 7 million in add-ons. And I think Arteta and Edu always wanted to get around the 30 million mark for Smith Rowe. If Smith Rowe had been playing throughout them last 2 years, week in, week out, that's a 50 mil sell. Easily, that's a 50 mil sell. Then again, if he's playing throughout the last 2 years, do we even sell him? Probably not. But just saying it for context, if he's playing for the last 2 years, week in, week out, that's 50, 60 million, easy. In the England squad, everything. So the fact that he hasn't been playing for the last 2 years and hasn't been in the squad, to get 27 plus 7 million add-ons, 27 million guaranteed, by the way. 7 million plus add-ons, that's probably to do with appearances, goals, assists, whatever is in the contract. We'll get an extra 7 million, which I think is brilliant business. In when you look at it like that for a guy that hasn't played, poor business in terms of the quality of the player, because Smith Rowe is a 50 million player easily. but he hasn't played. And now, Fulham fans, you're in for a treat because I'm telling you that Smith Rowe is special. Like a Smith Rowe on form is special. A Smith Rowe that's playing week in, week out is special. A Smith Rowe that's got confidence is special. A Smith Rowe that feels value in the team that he's playing in is special. He's special. Like, don't let these sour Arsenal fans tell you anything. Don't let these sour Arsenal fans say to you, oh, he can't. No, he can. And when he was playing week in, week out, every single one of us as Arsenal fans was, you know what I'm saying? We was, you know what I'm saying? So don't let these sour Arsenal fans gash you. Me, I'm not like them, man. I spit the truth. Arsenal fans hate it because I always say, like, as much as I love Arsenal with all my heart. I'm a football fan first. I love Arsenal with all my heart, but I'm a football fan first. I watch all types of football. I coach football. I scout football. Do you know what I mean? I love football. So when it comes to stuff like this, I just have to speak from a football perspective rather than speaking from an Arsenal perspective. If I speak from an Arsenal perspective, it will be quite biased. And that's what a lot of men do. Like, they speak from, whether it's a Chelsea fan, a Man United fan, or a Liverpool fan, they speak from that point of view and it becomes too biased. Whereas me, I can separate speaking from an Arsenal fan from speaking from a football fan. And right now, this is just me speaking as a football fan because I don't want Smith Rowe to go. And as an Arsenal fan, I'm telling you, that's cheap. 50 million minimum. But I get it. And I'm happy for Smith Rowe. Go and play. Go and enjoy your football. You're a quality player, man. You're a quality player. So Smith Rowe, I'll miss you definitely. But you're in London, man. So I'm gonna come and check your games, man. You know what I mean? I'm a fan still. I can't lie. My brother Yas getting on to me about Smith Rowe this, Smith Rowe that. But you know what I mean, man. Haters gonna hate. Haters need to stop ordering number 13 from the hater menu. Reece Nelson. I love Reece, but ability-wise, he's not good enough. To be fair, I haven't even heard any clubs are coming in for him, to be fair with you. So it might be another season with Reece Nelson coming in off the bench. Sometimes, you know what I mean, Carling Cup game, someone gets injured, coming on for the last 20 minutes, which I don't even think he minds. I swear to you, I don't think Reece Nelson minds. Like, I don't even want to, because I don't know Reece Nelson, but it just comes across to me like he ain't really got that drive or hunger to even try and go to them, like how Smith Rowe's going to a Fulham and saying, you know, I want to play. I feel like Nelson's like, you know what, I'm cool over here, you know. I'm all right over here, you know. My bills are paid. I'm getting paid on Friday. I'm with the man there. I'm playing for Arsenal. I don't really need to go and I get it. I get it, Reece. You know, one of them ones, I get it. So yeah, I ain't really heard nothing from Reece Nelson. Kyrgios died down a little bit. I mean, I'm happy to keep Kyrgios, but we can't keep Kyrgios and Zinchenko. One of them has to go. It's a weird one because Zinchenko is a good footballer and a horrible left back. But when I look at it now, I'm saying to myself, hold on a second. If we just have our two left backs as Calafiori and Timber, and remember, we got Tomiyasu as well, you know. I know we can't stay fit, but Tomiyasu's there. Yeah. If them three are our left backs, Zinni can just be a utility man. You know, like if someone needs to fill in on the DM or in the midfield, or I'm sure Zinchenko can play 8 or 6, you know, where he's not having to, because he's good on the ball. His touch is elite. He can pass. Like, he's a good footballer. But he just can't defend. So he might even be a good utility man to just play somewhere in that midfield, whether it's 8 or 6. Now I'm saying you need to rest up a man. You need to go a little bit more defensive. You need to protect the left hand a little bit more. Like, there's bare things you can do with Zinni, which is what's making me now think maybe Zinni stays and Kyrgios goes. I'll keep an eye on that one, and I'll definitely keep you posted for that one for sure. Let's get into some incomings. Obviously, as you know, Calafiori, he's signed for us. Big boy signing. Aura. If you could just show aura in a picture, what does aura mean? You just see his picture there looking like one. Do you know what I mean? One long-haired Italian. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk too much about that's my left back now. Yeah, that's our left back. He looks cold. You hear how the players like Odegaard and I've spoke about him, like even in training, his aura, his presence. He's got a presence on the pitch, and that's what you need as a defender. Me, I'm a striker. I played as a striker my whole life. Not many times you come up against defenders with auras that you just know are there. They don't even have to make. They might not even have to touch you. They just got that aura. They might not even have to make a tackle. They just got that aura. You don't come up against them a lot, but when you do, you know, raw, my man's serious. You know, just the way he everything, the way he conducts himself, just the way he's jogging on the pitch, the way he's controlling the back line, the way he's fizzing the pass in, the way he's demanding the ball. Like some players just have that aura. And Calafiore seems to have the aura. Obviously, the Premier League is a completely different kettle of fish. But I think that he's built for it, to be honest with you. I think that he's built for it. See a video of him in January, coming to the Arsenal game, involved with the fans. Like, come on, man. That's a player that I believe is going to be a fan favourite before January. Before the season starts in August. August? Yeah, the season starts end of August. By January, he's going to be a fan favourite. Excuse me. Has to be. Mentality monster, man. And I just listening to him, I like what he's saying. How much he wanted to be at Arsenal, how much Arsenal wanted him. Yeah, man. Calafiore, let's watch the space for that one. 25 million pounds for Marino. I spoke about Marino on the last video. Is he 8? Is he 6? We don't know. But what I do know is he's going to help improve the squad. And like I said, I think Arteta's way of thinking is, if a player's not playing, can I bring somebody in that does not affect how good the quality of the squad is? And I think that, obviously, again, we know that Arteta loves Pep Guardiola. We know that Arteta, I don't want to say he idolizes Pep, but he does. He seems to do a lot of things that Pep Guardiola does, which I'm not mad at. You know what I mean? Pep's the GOAT. Like me as a coach, I looked up to Pep. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, man's nowhere near that level, but I'm saying you got to look up to someone. And Pep's winning everything. Like, he's winning the leagues, he's winning Champions League, he's winning FA Cup. So it's like, why not look at a man and say, yo, what's he doing right? How do I copy that but put my own little spin on it? Do you know what I mean? So I get it. But yeah, Marino, hopefully we wrap him up. He looks like a good player, intelligent, comfortable on the ball, likes to receive the ball in tight spaces, can get out of awkward. You got 3 man on you, he can get out of it. Yeah, he just looks like a bit of a. I don't even want to disrespect this guy because he was a quality player for us, but he just looks a better Xhaka, a more mobile Granit Xhaka. Again, Premier League is a completely different level of. It's a different kettle of fish. So I don't want him to come to the Premier League and look stiff. Do you know what I mean? Because you're not stiff, but the Premier League can turn a man stiff. A Premier League can make a man look stiff. And I think lastly, we need a striker. We know this. I feel like that all depends on if Eddie does go or if he doesn't. I think if Eddie doesn't go, Arteta will say, I've got Kai Havertz up top, I've got Jesus up top, and I've got Eddie that can come on and do a job. I think if Eddie does go, then Arteta will start looking into players like, I'm hearing Osherman. Now, for me, I don't want to flip-flop just because we're interested in him, but I don't really rate him from what I've seen. That doesn't mean, because I don't want people to do this, From what I've seen, I don't rate him. That doesn't mean that if he comes to Arsenal or he goes to Chelsea or he goes to United, whoever he goes to, that I can't change my opinion later on down the line. From what I've seen so far, he hasn't been great. When I saw him in the AFCON as well, he was not great. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want him to come to the Prem and he starts tearing it up. Whether it's for us, hopefully it's for us, or if it's for them up boy over there. And then I say, you know what, he's decent. I say, no, you didn't used to rate him, but I didn't because he wasn't that good. Or, I'm not seeing what everybody's seeing. But if he comes to the Prem and he flopped, then, you know what I mean? I'm going to say, circle back on what I said. I don't rate him and there was a reason for it. But I'm happy to admit when, you know what, I was wrong. I didn't see the vision. Sometimes you can't always see the vision, Not every you can't be Kevin De Bruyne every day, Sometimes you got to be Enzo Fernandez, you know what I mean, bro? Them man there, bro. Hold them French man there, put him in it. You know what I mean? Less of that though. Pedro Neto and Chiesa, two names that are flirting around with the Arsenal transfer list. I've said it before and I say it again. I'd rather Pedro Neto. He's more seasoned. He knows the Premier League. We know what we're gonna more expect. Chiesa's been out of a big injury. So has Neto, yes, but at least Neto's been in the Premier League. He knows what it takes. He knows what he needs to do. He's adapted already. It will just be about adapting to the way that we play. And a striker, For me, like I said, Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins are still, I think they're still on holiday, to be fair, but why not? Like, why not? Obviously, first choice, I want Alexander Isaac, but we know Newcastle are going to chuck it and tell you 100 M's for the man. You know what I mean? I know Isaac's got some deals in there. Mr. Eritrea said, yo, 100 M's and 20 mils going back home. He's a real guy. So I wouldn't be surprised still. Yeah, Alexander Isaac could be first choice. Tony and Watkins, I prefer Tony, but Watkins probably is the better striker. So it's just a flip of a coin between them two, really. But the new name that I heard today, and I actually made a funny video about him on my TikTok ages ago, is João Pedro from Brighton. Good player. For me, he is a good player. Don't get twisted, but he's a bit of a Gabriel Jesus kind of player. Like, obviously, he's Brazilian, but just the way he plays, he is a bit jinky majinky, quick feet, and that. He's just a bit of a lankier Jesus. He does great, but he doesn't really score that many goals. And this, like, there's no way we're gonna get rid of Eddie Nketiah to bring in like another Jesus, because we got a Havertz type of striker, which you know what he brings. We got a Jesus type of striker. They're both completely different, but none of them are bags, man. None of them are your Watkins or even an Osimhen or even a Tony. None of them do that. So the third striker that we bring in has to be different. So I'm not really too keen on the João Pedro, but at the same time, I'll take him. Arsenal fans, who do you think that we should sign? Who do you think we should wrap up? Who do we need? Who don't we need? Who should we get rid of? Who should we keep? All of that, man. But yeah, man, I'm gonna be back with some more transfer news next week. But yeah, man, keep liking, keep subscribing, keep commenting, keep sharing. Follow me on the X, aka the Twitter, the TikTok. My videos go off on TikTok, man. I'll get a lot of interaction on there as well. Hopefully that will be the same on YouTube as well, man. But we're building, we're learning, man. Rome weren't built in a day, man. You know how it goes already. But yeah, man, love for tuning in, everybody. And yeah, peace.